All right, so today I'm going to make a whole wheat boule, and what a boule is simply a bread that's made in the form of a ball. So it's whole wheat, so it's very dense and wonderful. So I'm by no means a baker, a bread baker. I mean, those who really know what they're doing use measuring scales. They do a beautiful job. But having said that, you can make a great bread at home. You'll see how easy it is. The only catch to making good bread is having a yeast sponge. I call it a sponge. I don't know if you can see. I think everybody calls it a sponge. I don't just call it a sponge. And what it is I made it ahead because it takes about 8 to 10 minutes to get this high and bubbly. You take a half a cup of warm water, and the temperature of the water is important. You don't want it to be too cold. You want it to, in fact, it's a little cold because by the time it took for me to set up my camera, it got too cold, and that's important. You don't want it too hot, you don't want it too cold, you want it just right. Too cold, the yeast won't rise. Too hot, it just will kill it. So you just want it nice and lukewarm. I'm just going to put it in the microwave for a few seconds. And the other catch is that you want to use that kind of a hook, a metal hook from your regular, there we go, your regular mixer. So let me set that up. And let's see. Yeah, I think this is going to be perfect. Let's see. Yes, a little hot. Hopefully it'll be fine. Okay, so I put a half a teaspoon, very little, of sugar. You need that to feed the yeast, apparently. Put it in there. And then 3 teaspoons of baker's yeast. Simple. Now, here's the thing. If for some reason your yeast is old and whatever, I don't know, it doesn't get to the bubbly stage, don't even bother putting that in the bread. It just won't rise. And it's simple enough to check it first. That's why you like to do your sponge first, to see if it's going to rise. If it rises, you're golden. If it doesn't, use another yeast. Okay, so that's it. That was the hardest part of this whole operation. I use whole wheat flour, not whole wheat pastry. For this bread, I like it dense. I used whole wheat pastry flour for my soft wheat buns that are more fluffy. This is going to be a dense bread. So 3 cups, and again, the recipe is on the website, so you don't have to take notes, just to see how easily this is done. Then 3 tablespoons of olive oil. 1, 2, 3. And you note for this, did I put the water in there? Oh God, I can't believe it. Hello, I forgot to put the water first, 1 cup of water. But again, very forgiving. The only thing you want to do last is the yeast sponge. So 1 cup of warm water, doesn't matter exactly the temperature of that water. 3 cups of whole wheat flour, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and then last, your sponge, your yeast sponge, once it's nice and bubbly. Make sure it's bubbly, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, so put that in there. That's it. So I'm going to show you how it's going to get into, to create this whole, this little ball when it goes and mixes. At first you start it slow, and then I'm going to increase the speed, because you're going to see it's going to create a ball. And while it's doing that, I'll show you the beautiful bread that I made earlier. Ah, it's dense, it's beautiful. What I was going to tell you is that notice I don't put any salt in this particular bread. It doesn't need it because I love it just plain. If you need a little salt in there, you can. Don't put too much. No more than a half a teaspoon. In my other buns, I think I put 3/4 teaspoon. But because I want them salty, I use them for my turkey burgers. So, but this is, we're going to have it tonight when David comes home. He's going to come home late. I'm going to have it with nice fruit jam. Beautiful. So it's starting to create this nice dough. I'm going to increase it. And it's grabbing it. Beautiful. Oh, it. Then in my in the website, you may want, I say that if it's a little sticky, let me just show you. If it's a little sticky, you want your hands with a little flour in there so that it doesn't stick to your hands. But it depends on the quality of the weather and all that. Sometimes it just comes, no, it's perfect. Look at that. You just put a little flour on that so it doesn't stick to your hands. And look, oh, I love the smell, I love the feel. You can tell. This is it. This is a beautiful dough. What's going to happen is I'm going to put it back inside the bowl. I'm going to cover it loosely so it's nice and warm and it's going to rise. And then I'm going to put it in the oven. It is so good, so easy. You saw? Absolutely wonderful.